In the preceding capsules, I talked about one of the progression models, which is the percent-based progression model. So basically, you periodize your training weight, so that at the end of the cycle, you end up with a new 1 rep max. Often used in powerlifting and popular programs like that. I explain why it might not be optimal for everybody, but in some cases, it's actually a very good system. For example, in not beginners, but intermediate, who have a lot of room for improvement, they can actually sustain that type of progression pretty well, and it actually motivates them to add more weight to the bar. So an intermediate lifter who has good technique and good training experience can actually benefit from these programs. But more importantly, it has to fit your neurotype. So the one type that I find works best with that percent-based training is a very advanced type 3. Very advanced type 3 is someone who is in full control of his movement, so now he's not intimidated anymore, and he is prepared to add more weight to the bar. Now, why do I say that for a type 3, a percent-based program, once he's ready to do strength work will work? Well, it's because a type 3 is all about control. It's all about following the plan. So when they see 12 weeks in advance, this week I have to use that much weight, that much weight, that much weight, it secures them. I have to follow the process. I have to follow the plan. It gives them confidence because a type 3 will do anything as long as it's following a plan. If you just walk into a gym and say, today you're going to use 200 pounds, and they use 190 the week before, boom, stress response, anxiety, flexors tight. But if they look at the programs and they know in advance, okay, in 3 weeks I'm going to have to use 200 pounds, they will get mentally prepared for it. And since it's part of a process, then they will accept it as normal and not have the same intimidation toward the weight. So that is the most effective program when a type 3 wants to train for strength. If a type 2B wants to train for strength, it's also something that works pretty well. But again, these two types are not normally attracted to strength. So these percent-based programs are great for these people. They are good for intermediate. But in reality, one thing that most people don't know is that those who invented those programs often don't always follow them. Like in former Russian Olympic weightlifters who pioneered the percent-based program, they often use the percentages only as a general guideline. But the weight would actually fluctuate 5 to 10 kilos up and down depending on their working state. So personally, I've written programs based on a percent-based approach. I think it works well. I know that my friend Alex uses it extensively and has great gains. But not everybody can do it. If it kills your motivation because you feel trapped, don't use it. If you need to challenge yourself, don't use it. Depending on who you are, how you function, it can be a really good program or a really bad one. But I would personally, even if I'm using a percent-based program, I would still give myself some leeway. If I'm in great shape today, I allow myself to use a bit more weight. If I'm not in good shape, I will use a little less weight. Using the planned weight only as my guideline for today. This is what I need to use ideally. But if I'm in good shape, I will take advantage and use a little bit more. But that doesn't mean that next week I have to use more. You still use the planned progression, but stay adaptable depending on how you're feeling today. That's my recommendation for percent-based training.